Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Marky Picks, and today I got another prize pick slip for you, covering some Monday Night Football and MLB Game 7 action. Who doesn't want to bet on that? Quick recap on yesterday's NFL action. Um, the main slip did pretty solid, 4 out of 2 on the main slip, so solid hit right there, but it was all downhill from there. 2 out of 10 on the honorable mentions, and we went 2 out of 5 on the game picks. So the free extra picks did not pan out yesterday at all. Um, I also didn't pan out yesterday well at all either. So back-to-back losing days after that big 6 for 6. But we're looking to start this new week off with a fresh slate of betting. We got NBA coming up here on the next video, so I'm very excited for that. That's really where we start to, profit because I'm really good at NBA. So if you're joining the channel for the first time, welcome on in. I give out free daily sports picks every single day, so take advantage of anything you guys like. If you guys don't want to take every single one, you don't have to. I mean, just take singular picks that you guys just like on your own. You don't have to take every single pick that I bet on. These picks are just the picks that I like specifically, and the ones that I think have great edges. So quick recap on yesterday's NFL action on the main slip. I'm not going to go through every single one because it'd be like a 30-minute video. I'm not doing that. But DeAndre Swift, I knew he was due for a big day, but he was questionable with a groin injury in this game, and I didn't really know if he was going to be limited at all. It seemed pretty solid. Early on in that game, he wasn't getting as much carries. I was a little concerned, but as the game kept going on and Chicago had the lead as well, I knew they were going to eventually start hanging the ball more, and they did here. Carson Wentz, again, another spot where, it was one of those that was like, I played the revenge narrative kind of a little bit here because, Carson Wentz, we all know this story. If you have knowledge of the NFL, you know about his story with the Philadelphia Eagles. So I took that into consideration here in this over because, usually when players face their old teams, they're going to have even more of like a motivation to go out there and have a good game. He did have a pretty solid game, but he did throw like 2 picks early on in this game, which are pretty costly. And it ended up being like the final score, that pick 6 he threw in that first or second quarter, I believe. It ended up being the difference in this game because they lost by 6 points. And Bo Nix, another one here. The game script worked perfectly in our favor. If you're following along with this game, he was not looking great through the passing yards. He was like when he had 81 or something at halftime. So you're like, well, what the heck's going on? But if you check the score, they're down 13-0. So you're still looking pretty solid at that point because Denver's going to have to throw the ball more anyway. And they really were throwing the ball a lot, even throughout this whole entire game. I think Knicks had like 55 pass attempts or something like that, something crazy. So I wasn't too concerned here because of the game script, and they were at home as well. And that was some of the craziest fourth quarter play by the Giants I've ever seen. The Giants, I think they gave up 33 points in that fourth quarter. Like, that's just insanity. And that sums up the Giants over the last couple of years, over the last several years actually. It's just, I don't know. They just seem to be a disaster every once in a while. And Bo Nix was able to capitalize big time here to get to the over here. Even though he didn't have his best game, but he still was able to get to the over just because of how the game script played. And Justin Herbert, this is the negative game script here. So the Colts, they ran away with this one in the early on. What was it, 20-3 at halftime, I believe, or 28-3 or something. It was a major blowout. And while his passing yards was looking pretty solid on the under for like the majority of the first half, I just knew that it wasn't going to work out because of how the game script was going. Because Justin Herbert, he's going to be a guy that's going to go there and chuck up passes, especially when they're trailing by this amount of points. And that's exactly what they did here. He had like a couple 50-yard, passing plays. So, I mean, that's like over 100 yards right there. So, I mean, he also threw like 55 to 60 times in this one, I believe. So, I mean, you're not going to look good on the under in that scenario. So the game scripts, while it worked for Bo Nix, it didn't work for Herbert, and it burned us on the under there. Mac Jones, though, perfect game script. This game played exactly how I thought it would. I thought I was going to play a little bit slower, and it definitely did. Falcons also have a strong defense, which limited Mac Jones' chances through the air. So another solid, pretty comfortable under there to secure the fourth green on the slip. But Tua Tagovailoa tripped up here. He got to 100 yards. Just really disappointing. This is, I know there's like some bad conditions. I believe it was pretty windy, so I don't know if that had anything to do with it. Probably did. But he just was really terrible in this game. He was just awful. I don't know what happened to him. He's still supposed to be one of the premier quarterbacks of the league. You know, he got that big contract, I believe, like last year or 2 years ago. But he's not lived up to it this season so far. He's not really been good. I understand you're missing Tyreek Hill, but you still got Jalen Waddle out there, who's a very solid receiver, and Darren Waller as well, a solid tight end who just came back, but he just really couldn't get anything going in this game and was nowhere near the over at all. So 4 out of 6 on the slip. Another, solid percentage. I mean, keep hitting these percentages. It's going to break through one of these days like it did last Thursday. So let's jump into today's 6-pick slip. I got 6 plays for you guys covering NFL and MLB. So let's go ahead and jump into the first one for the day. First one, we got Jared Goff under 62.5 passing yards. I got him at 240.8. So Jared Goff really hasn't been, passing for the big passing yardage totals this year so far. He's been getting around, 240, hovering around that mark, every game so far. I think he's averaging like 230 something on the season. So definitely regressed from last year, because I know last year he was averaging like upwards and like he was like leading the league in passing, I believe. So it's not this. He's still a solid quarterback, but still not in the level he was last year. And in this spot, they are at home. This total was pretty high, and I saw the total was at 52.5. So I think it's a little bit too high for this game, because I could easily see both these teams playing some good defense in this game. And under 262.5, I think it's a little bit too high. The Buccaneers do have a good defense as well, so I expect there to be some limited chances for Jared Goff in this game. He's definitely capable of going over his number. He's definitely, if you want to take that narrative that he's due to have a big passing yards game, and with the total being at 52.5, you could, and with them being 5.5 points favorites as well, so they're expected to score points. But I think there's going to be some tough opportunities. I just don't see what Vegas is seeing, so I'm disagreeing with Vegas here. Usually not the best thing to do is disagree with Vegas, but I am here. And see if we can get under this big. I think his number is just a little bit too big. I do think Goff has a solid day, but I think he stays under this one. It could turn into a sweat if the game does stay competitive. I'm hoping the game does not stay competitive as well, hopefully. So that's the first pick of the slip. Jump into the second pick. We got C.J. Stroud over 16 fantasy score. I got him projected for 17.29. I like this spot for C.J. Stroud. I mean, he's coming off his best game of the season by far. I think he put up like 29 fantasy points last game or something like that. We've been waiting for that C.J. Stroud, breakout game, and he got it last week, and I think he continues to have a strong game on the road in prime time here tonight. I think he's going to let the country know that he's still a good quarterback. I think everybody's forgotten about him. Everybody's probably giving up on him, because he hasn't been, ever since that rookie year, that breakout rookie year, we really haven't seen him progress at all. He's actually been declining. So I think he's starting to figure some things out after that big game last week. I like him to continue that momentum into this game. His total is 41.5, so they're expecting some defense in this game. Both of these defenses are very strong, very good, so could be limited. But the Seahawks do give up some passing touchdowns, so I do like the touchdown upside for C.J. Stroud in this game. And he's got great receivers as well. Nico Collins, very good in the red zone. Dalton Schultz as well, very strong tight end. So I really like C.J. Stroud's chances to have a pretty strong game here. I like him to get around, 215, at least 215 passing yards, and a couple passing touchdowns, and that'll definitely get over this number. But he can get over his number a variety of ways, too. That's why I like taking the fantasy score. If he only gets one touchdown and has a big passing yards day, he can easily get over his line as well. Also, if he has a big rushing yards day, he could get over his line very easily as well. So I just like this chance. C.J. Stroud's going to have to make plays in this game if the Texans want to win, and I think he does. I think he continues that success from last week. So, but the Seahawks do have a couple of their cornerbacks, I believe, Julian Love and can't remember the other one. There's another big player. I don't know. My brain's foggy right now, but I think it's Weatherspoon. Yeah, Weatherspoon, safety. So if they're back, that's going to make things a little bit tougher on C.J. Stroud, but I still like his touchdown upside here in this spot. So yeah, give me the C.J. Stroud over here. One of my favorite picks of this list. Pick number 3, Rachaad White, under 76.5 rushing plus receiving yards. I got him at 72. So like I said in the Jared Goff pick, I think this game plays a little bit slower than what people think. I understand it is a high total, but Rachaad White, again, I mean, the Buccaneers, they've really been like disrespecting this guy over the last couple seasons, ever since Bucky Irvin became like the lead back. Rachaad White used to be like the number one guy. He used to be getting the bulk of the carries, but all of a sudden they just said screw it, we're gonna give Bucky Irvin the carries now. You're gonna have to deal with being running back number 2. So now that Rachaad White has to be running back number 1, he is getting some carries. He's getting around now like 14-ish carries a game now since he's been the starter. I don't think he gets that many carries. I think he can get up to like 10 to 14, anywhere in that range. Hopefully he doesn't get anything more than that, because then we're looking a little bit cautious on this under. But I just don't think he has that great of receiving upside either. That's why I'm combining these two. His rushing yards line was pretty tight, so I added the receiving yards category in there. So I think we can get better edge there. Because he's not really the best, pass catcher. I mean, he can do it. He gets a couple catches a game, but he doesn't like go for like crazy amounts of yards. So, Detroit's defense, they can be a little shaky at times. So I can understand how a couple slip screens here and there can be a little bit of a factor in the passing game. Also, the Buccaneers are going to be without Chris Godwin in this game, and Mike Evans and Egbuka. I think they're questionable. So if those two, I'm expecting both of them to play. I'm expecting Mike Evans and Egbuka to play. But if they don't play, I probably wouldn't lock in this under. It just comes down. Just pay attention to that news if you guys can. So yeah, that's my insight there. Just pay attention to those injuries, because that could definitely affect this line if they do get ruled out. So pick number 4, we're going Zach Charbonnet, under 49.5 rushing plus receiving yards. I got him at 46.8. I got the Seahawks taking on the Texans here. Seahawks are 3.5-point favorites at home. And again, it's a low total game. Charbonnet is kind of, they have like a running back like committee with Kenneth Walker. They both get, similar amounts of volume. I'm expecting Charbonnet to get around 10 carries in his game for about like 48 or like 42 yards. Charbonnet's not really a factor in the passing game. He may get like one catch for like a few yards, but he's not a guy that's going to get a catch and, for like a big amount of yards. So, especially in a game where, I think the Seahawks, it's going to be a close game, I think, but I think there's going to be some points scored. So, kind of going against what I'm picking, because I think this game's going to go over, and I'm taking an under on this player. But I just don't think Charbonnet's got the capabilities to go over. I just don't like his rushing, upside in this game. I think the rushing, yards are going to be a little bit limited. So that's why I like the under in this spot. Jumping into pick number 5. Taking George Kirby now, over 3 strikeouts. Got him at 4.85. We got Game 7. The best 2 words in baseball. Blue Jays and Mariners. Winner goes to the World Series. There's nothing better than this in sports. It's going to be a game to watch. I mean, just the intensity of like a Game 7, and it's just in any sport is just must watch, because I mean it's just the intensity, just everything just intensifies even more so than any other game. So I like the Mariners in this game. I know Shane Bieber's pitching on the other side. Blue Jays just won yesterday, and the Blue Jays are a much better team at home, but there's something about this Mariners team, man, that just wants to, break people's hearts, and I think they can get it done tonight. Do I think any of these teams are going to compete with the Dodgers? No. They'll be lucky to win one game against the Dodgers. That'd probably be their best chances to win one game. I don't think they're beating the Dodgers in a best-of-7 series. It's just not happening. But in this specific game, George Kirby, he's been a guy that gets consistent strikeout volume in every game so far in his postseason as well. This line seems really reduced. I understand it's a Game 7, so I mean, if he gets in any kind of trouble, he's going to be out of there quick. So And the Blue Jays, they do have a scrappy offense. They don't strike out that much either, but I just think Kirby could find a way to get 3 strikeouts. I like Kirby to go at least 4 innings in this game. I think he can get 4. He's still one of their best pitchers in their rotation, so they're going to ride him for a little bit, unless he just gets absolutely obliterated early on. I think this game does stay pretty low scoring. I mean, I think this is a game that could easily, finish like a 2-1 kind of feel. Game 7s just are like that. There's just a different feel about them. So I think George Kirby's going to keep riding that adrenaline and find a way to at least tie this line. That's what I'm hoping for. Usually in baseball, when I've been taking these kind of lines, they're like insurance policy picks. 3 strikeouts is really reduced for a guy like Kirby. I mean, that's just really not that much at all. He can easily get that like 1 time through the order if they want to go that route. If they don't want him to face, one time through the order, I think he can easily get at least 3 strikeouts. He's got great stuff. So I like his chances here in this game for the MLB. And now, lastly, we're going for the different kind of prop on this channel. I haven't picked any of these props before, and we're taking Jason Myers over 6.5 kicking points. I don't have a projection for kickers, but if you look at his last 5 game logs, he's really been smashing his number, except for like 1 game, I believe. But this is a game where I expect it to come down to maybe a field goal. So I think there could be I think Seattle's going to have trouble scoring touchdowns in this game. I do think they move the ball pretty easily. But I think they have trouble, when they get in the red zone. And that's going to lead to, Jason Myers, getting more field goal opportunities. So, I mean, that's, 2 field goals and a touchdown? I think that could be a very, very possible outcome here in this spot. Especially in a game where I think it's going to go over anyway. So, I mean, even if they do score touchdowns, you keep adding those points on here. But I think there's a couple field goals at least. Because I don't think the Seahawks are going to score as much touchdowns as people think. So, yeah, I think it's a great closer to this slip. Got, we got 2 picks from the first game and 3 picks from the second game of Monday Night Football. And then we got 1 MLB pick. So, very diverse kind of slip here. And that's the main slip. So, I'm going to show you my game picks for tonight. I got the Lions and Bucks under 52.5 total. And I got the Seahawks and the Texans over 41.5 total. And I got the Mariners money line, and I got the little bit of a different sport now. I haven't tried hockey, I'm just kind of throwing in there. I am a Flyers fan, so I do watch them every now and then. I don't watch every game. Like, I know some of the players, I don't know everybody, but I'll probably tune in for a little bit. So give me the Flyers at home. They're playing the Kraken. The Kraken are undefeated. They're like 3-0, and they have like 2 overtime losses or something. I'm gonna go with the Kraken getting their first loss in this game. So give me the Flyers. I don't know if they're going to be favored in this game. I know they're like favored to win on the money line, I believe. They're like minus 115 favorites, I believe, or something like that. I assume they're going to be favorites on the puck line, so, whichever one you prefer. Those are my 4 picks for today. So that's today's video, guys. Once again, we got 6 PrizePicks picks and a few game picks for tonight. Really looking forward to tomorrow's video. First time NBA is going to be on the channel. NBA's back in the season. If this is your first time finding the channel, this is the time to hop on board. I'm really good at NBA. It might be a little bit struggle off in the beginning because I got to wait for more data to come in to strengthen my projections. But once we get enough data, my projections going to be really strong, and NBA is going to be very, very profitable this season. I can feel it. So stay tuned for that. I'll be dropping picks every single day for the NBA season, so you guys got to make sure to stay tuned. So hit the like button, subscribe, and turn the post notifications on so you don't miss any of those videos. But that's it for today's video, guys. Hopefully we can start the week off strong on NFL and some MLB. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.